Hi everybody, listen, some time ago I sat down in this very chair and had a really interesting conversation with Fredrik Westin from our managed services team. And we spoke about the importance of having a professional provider of support for your entire MTR estate. And one of the key things Fredrik brought up was the necessity of having preventative care, essentially to ensure that you're able to get to problems before the problems become, well, problems. And that made a lot of you reach out to us asking, how is this done? Well, lucky for us, we have someone with us today, Eva Nyberg from our Hummingbird team. Eva, that is a pretty bold statement that Fredrik made, which is to get to the problems before problems become problems. How is this done?
And it's a valid question. So how we think it has to be done is by gaining visibility to every aspect of the service that could potentially impact the user. So of course you have the user itself, and they're in this context of Teams meetings and Teams meeting rooms. That's one thing. But when we go into a meeting room, you have network elements, you have meeting room equipment, you might have digital screens, whiteboards, whatever, and of course Teams itself, all impacting the user experience.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jungle in a meeting room.
It is, and we have to know what is the status and state of all these elements, not just one or focusing on some of them. We have to understand the whole environment to be able to claim that, to be able to do that.
And how do you do that then?
Of course, we have a solution for this. We've built something ourselves called Elisa Hummingbird, which enables us to have access and visibility to these elements that we were just describing. So not just knowing whether something is online or offline, we can also see a bit like deeper into a device or, for example, network. How is it responding? How fast is it? And these all play a role in the user experience.
So the key here is access to data, but just data alone is not enough. You need to be able to dissect and do the forensic bit that you would do to the data to be able to draw those conclusions before something becomes an issue. Isn't that correct?
Correct. And of course, that's where services come in, and the ultimate comfort of service as such, that you don't have to, as a customer, worry about that. We as a company have, of course, for let's say 2 decades focused on VC and video estates and managing this type of equipment. So we're using our experience to understand that what does this parameter or this data point mean for a customer, and by us being able to kind of collect the data, analyze it, and put it into action, we can claim that we prevent issues or alternatively fix them before they impact the end user.
Exactly. Now, it makes sense for Elisa Hummingbird to be part of a wider managed service. I get that. But is it possible to just get the Elisa Hummingbird bit in isolation?
Yes, and of course it depends on your requirements. If you're interested in having visibility yourself to the data we are collecting and using for our service to service you as a customer, we enable that too. So whether it's a part of our service or independently, we provide you with the data or the visibility to the information we have collected over your estate, and you can use that for multiple purposes.
Yeah, I know I'm a little bit biased here, but I think the modularity in terms of getting access to the data, whether that's part of a managed service or whether I'm just getting access to it through the solution, I think that's brilliant.
Yes.
Where do I need to go if I wanted to just get a little bit more information on Elisa Hummingbird?
Of course, you can contact us through our website. That's the first thing. Yes.
And who are the people in the organization? What functions would benefit most?
Good question, and I'm glad you raised that. We've covered the technical elements of these devices and the meeting room environment here, but there is typically a business aspect to this. It's an investment by businesses to gain something, let's say an ambition or a objective in terms of collaboration. So how do you measure the investment? We can help with that too. So if we combine the technical availability of an estate, for example, with usage, that's a way of interpreting how well is your investment giving back you giving back returns to you.
I think that's an excellent point to end this conversation with. Guys, if you thought this sort of content was useful, do check us out on LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn because we will be posting this type of content on a regular basis. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.